Covering a mere 22,145 square kilometers, Israel may be geographically small, but its significance to three major global religious groups is immense. In the modern Jewish state, the importance goes beyond being just the promised land for Jews. It stands as the sole nation where they constitute a majority of the populace. Christians regard Israel as the Holy Land due to its association with the life and crucifixion of Jesus. Meanwhile, for Muslims, Jerusalem holds profound significance as the place where Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. The world is on the edge of its seat as it closely observes the unfolding events in Israel. What has everyone spellbound is the central role Israel plays in the apocalyptic prophecies detailed in the Bible. During the Second Coming, our Lord will not return to just any country. He will govern from the throne of David in Jerusalem, overseeing a world of nations who hold faith in him. As a matter of fact, numerous scholars contend that the ongoing events in this Middle Eastern nation are aligning with the prophetic visions outlined in the Bible. They propose that the world is undergoing deliberate preparations for the rise of a new leader, promising to usher in an era of peace, particularly in the face of unprecedented crises, the Antichrist. The Antichrist is seen as the complete opposite and biggest enemy of Christ in Christian beliefs. It is believed that before the Last Judgment, he will wield dreadful power and influence. This anticipated figure will strive to unite the diverse religions of the world under a banner of inclusivity and love. He will initially present himself as a peacemaker and financial genius, only to evolve into an immensely powerful dictator. His eloquence and persuasive oratory will have a profound impact on global sentiments, winning the hearts of people worldwide. The Bible describes him as a performer of supernatural feats, making him incredibly convincing in his narrative. According to biblical interpretations, the Antichrist will emerge from the European coalition. Early in his career, he is said to seize power over three nations, subsequently consolidating authority over the European coalition and eventually exerting dominion over the entire world. His strategy to attain global control involves providing a license, often referred to as the Mark of the Beast, which regulates economic transactions. This license is established to control the world economy, dictating eligibility for essential activities such as buying and selling. To obtain this license, individuals are required to worship the beast or the Antichrist. Bible texts discuss the Antichrist in connection to Israel to a significant extent. This powerful figure will initiate a covenant with Israel at the outset of his career, promising to shield them from their Arabic adversaries. Consequently, Israel relaxes its guard, focuses on economic recovery, and is lulled into a sense of peace. However, at the end of 3.5 years, the Antichrist reneged on the covenant, violating the temple and nullifying the peace treaty. He desecrates the temple, eliminating all furnishings and installing a self-idolizing statue in the Holy of Holies, commanding universal worship. Nevertheless, Satan's dominion over earth will come to an end, both directly and indirectly through the Antichrist, with a second coming of Christ, a prophesied event that will unfold in Israel. However, Israel's importance transcends biblical prophecies. With a rich and dynamic history dating back to pre-biblical times, the country has emerged as a focal point in archaeological discoveries that have profoundly influenced the course of human history. Certain findings have a chilling effect on researchers, challenging our established beliefs due to their unsettling nature. In modern-day Israel, situated along the Mediterranean coast, lies the remnants of the ancient seaport of Ashkelon. Here, a horrifying revelation unfolded during an exploration of one of the city's sewers by archaeologist Ross Voss. Among the discoveries were numerous small bones initially presumed to belong to chickens. However, further meticulous examination established these tiny remains as human, tracing back to the ancient Roman period. This revelation has become a paramount discovery, marking one of the largest mass graves of infants ever excavated. It has brought to the forefront a prevailing hypothesis among archaeologists that the ancient Romans may have practiced extensive infanticide. Despite the Romans being advanced in many ways, their views on childbirth and parental duties were quite outdated. In Roman society, when a baby was born, they weren't seen as fully human right away. This belief made it acceptable to abandon unwanted babies, usually outdoors, to face the elements without direct harm. Instead of directly killing them, They believed in leaving the fate of these infants to the gods, thinking it was their divine choice. If a baby managed to survive, it was seen as a sign of the gods' will. On the other hand, if the baby didn't make it, they believed it was destiny. This belief was deeply ingrained in their culture, illustrated by the tale of Romulus and Remus. The twins were believed to be the offspring of Mars, the god of war, and they faced the grim fate of being sentenced to death by drowning in the river Tiber. Fortunately, they were cared for and nurtured by wolves, ultimately founding the illustrious city of Rome. This belief system reinforced the notion of overcoming challenges for survival and regarded death as a natural aspect of life. After thoroughly digging at the site, it was clear that around 100 infant bodies were buried together. The bodies found by Voss didn't show signs of being left outside. They appeared healthy before they passed away. This raised a disturbing question. Could someone have caused harm to these infants? Researchers couldn't figure out the reason behind this troubling act, but the evidence strongly hinted that these infants were not just left alone. They were sadly and intentionally brought to an end. However, there are some artifacts in the area that might explain the reason behind the mass grave. The sewer housing the remains was situated beneath an ancient bathhouse featuring Greek inscriptions inviting individuals to enter and enjoy, a location associated with Ashkelon's red light district. In ancient Rome, women who worked in the flesh trade and found themselves unexpectedly pregnant often decided to have the baby rather than go through dangerous abortions. Some experts think these women may have left their unwanted babies right under the place where they worked, likely because of their difficult situations. After a thorough analysis of the remains, researchers determined that a substantial majority of the infant bones belonged to males. This finding challenged the conventional belief that boys were more highly valued in ancient societies. Archaeological evidence pertaining to the pivotal Battle of Jerusalem around 2,000 years ago, just before the Second Temple's devastating destruction, has been unearthed at the city of David. Arrowheads and stone catapult balls were discovered along the primary thoroughfare connecting the Pool of Siloam to the temple through the city gates. The artifacts unearthed along the pilgrimage road bear witness to the climactic and fierce confrontation between the Roman military and the Jewish insurgents entrenched within the city. This conflict ultimately resulted in the violent destruction of Jerusalem. Within the layer of destruction, archaeologists unearthed a significant number of coins that were minted during the brief 4-year revolt before Rome's takeover of Jerusalem. It raises the question, why invest significant time, energy, and resources in minting coins during such a crisis? The answer lies in the inscriptions on these coins. Phrases like, "For the freedom of Zion" can be found, which indicates that even in the seemingly hopeless struggle against Rome, the Jewish people maintained their belief, hope, and prayers that future generations would discover these coins and learn about the sacrifices made in their quest for freedom. Beneath the road, there exists an ancient drainage channel that served a crucial role in the days of the Second Temple, a clandestine refuge for Jewish rebels evading pursuit by Roman soldiers. Remarkably, this concealed channel has yielded a trove of artifacts, including cooking pots, oil lamps, an extensive collection of bronze coins from the Great Revolt, and notably, a sword once wielded by a Roman legionnaire. While traditionally credited to Herod the Great, recent scholarly investigations suggest that the road's construction actually took place after Herod's era, during the governance of Roman officials in Jerusalem. It is quite likely that the construction of the road was authorized and overseen by the Roman governor Pontius Pilate, infamous for his involvement in the crucifixion of Jesus. In a recent archaeological find, researchers unearthed an artifact indicating the ancient inhabitants of the coastal town of Ashkelon had the ability to catch even enormous sharks. This evidence comes in the form of a sizable bronze fishhook. Remarkably, at 6,000 years old, it stands as one of the most ancient metal fishhooks ever found. This discovery not only aligns with the well-known occupation of the disciples as fishermen, but also resonates with references to fishhooks in Old Testament scriptures, such as the Book of Amos. Measuring an impressive 2.5 inches in length, the researchers suggest that this hook likely served in capturing substantial marine creatures. Dating back to the Chalcolithic period, approximately spanning from 4,500 to 3,300 BCE, this substantial hook holds the distinction of being one of the earliest instances where copper was utilized in crafting fish hooks. The widespread use of copper during the Chalcolithic era marked an innovative leap, as earlier fish hooks were predominantly fashioned from bone. Furthermore, the hook's considerable size sets it apart, exceeding the dimensions of typical fishing implements from that period. During the Chalcolithic period, Ashkelon and its surrounding region hosted numerous substantial settlements. The economic landscape of this time may not have been markedly distinct from the present day. Besides engaging in fishing activities, these communities relied predominantly on agricultural pursuits. This included the cultivation of essential crops like wheat, barley, legumes, and various fruit trees. Additionally, herding played a vital role in their sustenance, involving the rearing of animals like sheep, goats, and cattle. Destiny appeared to intervene, revealing a 3,300-year-old secret at Palmachim National Park near Tel Aviv, all thanks to a fallen rock. A rock shifted during construction, illuminating an intact burial collection approximately 2.5 meters beneath the surface. This accidental discovery unveiled an ancient archaeological treasure harkening back to the era of a notorious pharaoh referenced in biblical tales. A team of archaeologists embarked on a symbolic journey through time, exploring a cave untouched by human presence for over 3 millennia. The artifacts found within the cave offer a window into the late Bronze Age, closely aligning with the reign of the renowned biblical figure, Ramses II. A prominent figure among Egyptian monarchs during the Golden Age of Egypt, holds a position as the formidable third pharaoh of the 19th dynasty. His reign from 1279 to 1213 BCE stands as the second longest in Egyptian history. Renowned not only for his military campaigns against the Hittites and Libyans, Ramses II is celebrated for his ambitious building initiatives and the numerous colossal statues bearing his likeness dispersed across Egypt. Experts believe that the vessels found in the cave were likely imported from regions like Lebanon, Syria, and Cyprus, a practice commonly observed in burial collections of that era. The array of findings includes dozens of pottery vessels varying in size and shape, encompassing deep and shallow bowls, some adorned with red paint containing remains, cooking pots, jugs, and clay oil lamps with preserved burnt wicks. While certain organic materials may have decayed over the centuries, it is speculated that a quiver once held an assortment of bronze arrowheads or spearheads, which were also discovered within the cave. A tomb bearing a foreboding curse, warned in what appears to be blood, is something straight out of a movie plot. However, this became a reality during an archaeological excavation at an ancient cemetery in Beit Shirim, located in northern Israel. Inside a tomb dating back 1,800 years, a peculiar and ominous inscription in Greek served as a forewarning. It appeared that the individual interred within sought to ensure the eternal sanctity of their final resting place. The stone slab features 8 lines of text, culminating in the final words boldly inscribed in blood-red letters. Jacob Hagar swore to curse whoever opened this tomb so that no one would open it, for 60 years. Interestingly, and somewhat reassuringly, despite its ominous appearance, the message is composed not in blood, but scarlet paint. This tomb marker, discovered at the site, marks a significant historical finding, explicitly confirming the individual interred as a convert to Judaism, the first such confirmation found at this location. The inscription dates back to the late Roman or early Byzantine period, a time when Christianity was gaining strength. The tomb serves as compelling evidence of individuals expressing a desire to embrace the Jewish faith during this era. Regrettably, it appears that the tombstone had been detached from its grave by looters at some point after the burial, leaving the exact location of Jacob's final resting place a mystery. Regardless of his origins and the whereabouts of his remains, Jacob's ominous warning continues to echo through the ages, joining a compilation of epitaphs cautioning against disturbing the earthly remains of the departed. Given Israel's rich historical background, the potential for discovering archaeological treasures in the region is boundless. What other remarkable findings await us in this captivating country? Only time will unveil the secrets yet to be revealed. What are your thoughts about this? I hope you like our story. Until the next one.